So for the last few years, both the JBL Flip 6 and JBL Charge 5 have been my favorite speakers to recommend, because thanks to their woofer and tweeter setup, these speakers sound very good. Plus, they're very portable and they're very durable. But now, Sony has copied the woofer and tweeter setup that's found on both of JBL speakers, and the Oldfield one actually does it better than the Flip 6, and the Oldfield one really gives the JBL Charge 5 a real run for its money. So today, let's see if JBL should be worried about the new Sony Oldfield one. So first, let's talk about the design of these speakers. Now, the Flip 6 is still the smallest speaker here, but then there's the Sony Oldfield one, which is just as thick, but it is noticeably longer than the Flip 6. But then there's the Charge 5, which is the largest and heaviest speaker here. Nonetheless, all of these speakers are great options to take on the go with you to the beach or on a trip, because they don't take up too much space in your backpack. However, with the Oldfield one, it does have a built-in carrying handle that you can use in one of two positions. So either you can easily carry the speaker around, or you can very easily attach it to something. But when it comes to durability, all of these speakers are the same. They all have a mostly fabric wrap body, which can stand up to constant abuse from bumps and scrapes, and all of these speakers are waterproof. So if they fall in a pool or if a drink gets spilled on them, they're going to be perfectly fine. But personally, I am leaning a little towards the Oldfield one here because of that carrying strap, plus the speaker is small enough so you can easily throw it into your backpack's water bottle holder. Now, when it comes to battery life, both the Oldfield one and JBL Flip 6 have an advertised battery life of 12 hours. However, this advertised battery life of 12 hours on the smaller speakers is with them playing at 50% volume. Real-world use with both of these speakers playing at 80% volume, both of these speakers are going to be good for around 8 hours of playback time. However, 80% volume on the Oldfield one is noticeably louder than 80% volume on the Flip 6. And also, this 8 hours of playback time on the Oldfield one is with the Old feature turned on. But then there's the JBL Charge 5, and this speaker has an advertised battery life of 20 hours. But real-world use with this speaker playing at 80% volume is going to be good for around 10 hours of playback time. And keep in mind that this is a 40-watt speaker, so it is going to get noticeably louder than these other two smaller speakers. But when it comes to ports, all of these speakers charge via a USB-C port, as they should. And this is actually the only port that you'll find on both the Flip 6 and Old 1. Whereas with the Charge 5, there is a USB-A port, so you can charge your own devices. Now, I think it's great and all that the Charge 5 has a USB-A port, but I wish that you could just charge your own devices with the USB-C port found on all of these speakers, because most phones these days just come with USB-C to USB-C charging cables. But unfortunately, the USB-C port on all of these speakers is strictly used for charging the speaker. But more importantly, none of these speakers have an audio jack on them, so you can't use them with a wired connection. And personally, I am sad that none of these speakers have an audio jack, but this is the standard now for speakers of this size. But when it comes to Bluetooth connectivity, all of these speakers can be connected to two devices at the same time, so you and a friend can both be DJ. Latency is not an issue for any of these speakers, so you can use them to watch videos with on your phone. And when it comes to audio codecs, both of JBL speakers only have support for SBC, whereas the Oldfield one has support for SBC and AAC. But with all that out of the way, let's talk about what really matters, and that's sound. Now, when it comes to speaker setups, all of these speakers have a frontward firing woofer, a frontward firing tweeter, and dual passive radiators that shoot out the sides. Except on the Charge 5, it is a little larger. But it is a very big deal that all of these speakers have a woofer and tweeter setup, because this is still a rare speaker setup for a speaker of this size. And this type of setup is going to help with overall sound quality, because the woofer is going to handle the mids and the tweeter is going to handle the highs. But so that you can see what I'm talking about, let me just show you. So like we've just seen, the woofer handles the mids and the tweeter handles the highs, and this is going to help with overall instrument separation. Your speaker is going to sound more open and you're going to have more detail in the highs. Now with all of these speakers, you can go in and you can adjust their EQ to your liking. And I do recommend that you increase the bass on the Flip 6 because it does lean towards a brighter sound signature, but with the Charge 5, I like to use it with its stock EQ. But then there's the Alt Field 1, which has its Alt button. Now this Alt button has a 1 level to it, unlike with Sony's other Alt speakers that have 2 Alt settings. But nonetheless, with the Alt 1, you're going to get more bass when Alt is turned on. But now we're going to go ahead and jump into the sound test. All of these speakers are playing at 87% volume, and all of these speakers are playing with their stock EQs, which means Alt is turned on the Alt 1.
Round and around we go. Picture perfect, but so many flaws that stopped you. I don't wanna ever see you in the same room. I open up and then you hit on all my issues. Round and around we go. We go! Didn't think you would ever believe in me. Now I see your colors, now they're in my dreams. Do I need a touch or do I just need sleep? Cause I've been up for almost 3 weeks. Oh, you think you got to me? All you did was use me. Round and around we go. We go. Baby, baby, now I'm trying to forget you. Baby, I knew everything that was about you. I'm looking for the bathroom. Round and around, yeah, round and around we go. Picture perfect, but so many flaws that stopped you. I don't wanna ever see you in the same room. I open up and then you hit on all my issues. Round and around we go. We go!
So from a sound quality standpoint, I simply have to say that the Alt Field 1 sounds much better than both the JBL Flip 6 and JBL Charge 5 because the mids sound way fuller. All of these speakers have similar instrument separation and all of these speakers sound much more open than your more typical speakers that have dual front mid-firing woofers. But both of JBL's speakers sound hollow when compared to the Alt Field 1. And when it comes to max volume performance, the Sony Alt Field 1 gets noticeably louder than the JBL Flip 6 and it also has more resonance in its bass. However, the JBL Charge 5 gets louder than the Sony Alt Field 1 and it has more bass than the Sony. However, even though the JBL Charge 5 gets louder than the Sony Alt Field 1, the Sony Alt Field 1 sounds much meatier because its mids sound a lot fuller. So overall, I feel the Sony Alt Field 1 easily outperforms the JBL Flip 6 here when it comes to sound, and the Alt Field Oldfield 1 gives the Charge 5 a real run for its money. But personally, I really hope that we see an Oldfield 3 that can properly compete against the Charge 5. Because technically, the Charge 5 does outweigh the Oldfield 1. But finally, let's talk about pairing these speakers up to other speakers. Now, with all of these speakers, if you have two of the exact same speakers, then you can wisely pair them up and get them to play in left or right stereo mode. However, even though I really like how the Sony Oldfield 1 sounds, Sony really dropped the ball here because this speaker does not have Party Connect, meaning that you can't wirelessly connect your Oldfield 1 to any of Sony's other speakers that are using Party Connect, like either the Sony Oldfield 7, the Sony XG500, XG300, XE300, XE200, or to an XB43, XB33, or XB23, or to any of Sony's larger box speakers that are also using Party Connect. Whereas with both the JBL Flip 6 and the JBL Charge 5, both of these speakers are using JBL's Party Boost. So you can wirelessly pair them up to any of JBL's other Party Boost speakers, like either a Boombox 3, a Boombox 2, an Extreme 3, a Charge 5, a Pulse 5, a Pulse 4, or to the Flip 5, or to the Flip 6. And you can also pair them up with JBL's upcoming Auracast speakers, like either an Extreme 4, a Clip 5, or a Go 4. But unfortunately, you cannot connect any of JBL's smaller Party Boost speakers to any of JBL's larger Party Box speakers. But nonetheless, if you plan on getting multiple speakers, or if you plan on growing your collection of speakers, right now you are better off going with the JBLs here, because the Alt 1 doesn't have Party Connect. And sometimes just having 3 or 4 small speakers paired together is better than having just one big loud speaker. But with all that being said, if you're trying to choose between the Sony Oldfield 1 and the JBL Flip 6, the Sony Oldfield 1 is the clear winner here. This speaker sounds fuller and it gets louder than the JBL Flip 6. And I also really like the built-in carrying handle on the Alt 1. The only reason why you should get the Flip 6 over the Alt 1 is if you plan on getting more than 2 of the same speakers, or if you plan on getting a second larger speaker. And then there's the Sony Oldfield 1 versus JBL Charge 5. The Charge 5 is still the way to go if you need a longer battery life. But when it comes to sound quality, again, the Oldfield 1 sounds fuller than the Charge 5. Personally, I am really impressed by the Sony Oldfield 1, and I really hope that we see an Oldfield 3 that's louder and has a longer battery life.